Good morning. My name is Ralf Niklaus. I'm trainer at WABCOWÜRTH. I would like to welcome you. I have today for our topic of the COOLIUS series some assistants with me. Technical trainer, introduce yourself, please.
My name is Uwe Blatz. I'm the colleague of Ralf. I'm also a technical trainer here in this company.
So nice that you have found time to stay with us. The event today is about to get an overview, or about to give you an overview to the whole COOLIUS series which we provide from WABCOWÜRTH. So what do we have here? I think we have prepared 4 machines. At least it looks like so.
Yeah, that's right, Ralf.
At the smallest one, we start with the smallest one, I think.
Yeah, we have in common, we have 3 series overall. We have the 10 series with the 11 kilogram internal tank. We have the 50 series with 20 kilogram internal reserve, and the A30 with the 35 kilogram internal reserve, just to give a blunt overview. And the way to deploy it is, of course.
Yeah, what do you think, for which type of vehicles should they be used for?
I would
each one?
I would tie to the purpose.
Mm-hmm.
The purpose, you can service any vehicle with one of these devices, but the purpose, of course, should be adequate. So for the big volume system, I would prefer the A30, of course.
So talking about, for example, buses,
yes,
which need a lot of refrigerant inside.
High volume consumers, railway cars, and so on.
Yep, subways, whatever.
Even helicopters, sometimes.
Helicopters need a lot of AC? I don't know.
2-3 kilograms, yeah.
Okay, all right.
And yeah, and the main business, I think, is the mid-size between 500 grams and 1 kilo. Even a truck is having approximately 1 kilogram, depending on the size. These remote traffic trucks, and for that we have 2 ways to serve them. The small one here is having all the capabilities you need for all kinds of vehicles, but of course, in this version here, we have some function added which increase the comfort of usage and shorten the time to work. So,
but there are for sure some specific benefits on the COOLIUS 10 series.
Right.
So we are talking about the A series as well as on the Y series. The difference there is only the gas which you maintain. So here, yeah, we start with the A series, but each device except of the A30 is also available as a Y series model.
Yeah, of course, normally in this let's say professional car, or let's say the commercial car business, normally we work with the R134A, and therefore these 3 units are suitable. And we have here, this version is the Y version for the 1234YF, which is also in the beginning to come in the truck business at some manufacturers.
They will start in 2021 with the first trucks from a Swedish manufacturer, I think.
Yes.
Which will be delivered with the new gas already. So it's nothing which you should think about too much into the future. It's coming with big steps.
It's coming. It's been announced in the news. Don't worry. Yeah, but it's not only the gas, of course. Together with the gas, we need to take care with the database and so on. Yeah, coming to the 10 series, what's the core benefit? It is a lightweight device. You can load it on a truck and you go for mobile service in the agricultural business, in the construction business. You just put it on a truck. Therefore, we have added here the common feature to all of our devices. Only with the A30 it's working a little different. We have a scale lock. What's the purpose of the scale lock? We want to protect the scale against destruction or shock, and therefore we have this little lever here. We lift up the bottle and fix it here, and so the scale is not loaded anymore. This is for any kind of transport, even if it's only for short distances. Protecting the scale is always a good idea, and you see it's working tool free without any effort.
So it makes also sense if you have a rough surface in your workshop, if it's not even like the one we have here in the studio, it could save the lifetime of the scale unit itself.
Definitely
Right?
yes,
Yeah.
definitely yes.
Okay.
Even only if you go over a hump and shock this device too much, can do damage.
Yeah.
But this is a very good hookup because we have the scale on top. You see, we are not fumbling around on the ground and going. I'm not going down to my knees. There's a certain reason for it. We have a so-called hanging bottle design, and this hanging bottle design is giving us the benefit if the floor is not even or has just a little slope, just like that. The scale precision, the scale reading is still precise enough to be within the range. Exactly the opposite. If the bottle is sitting on a scale, then you lose accuracy very easily if you have some uneven floor. This is definitely a benefit, especially in the mobile use.
What else? I think you're talking all the ways about mobile use. So that implements for myself. You talked about service mobile use. So I would expect that you can put this device into your LCV, for example, use a DC-AC converter from 12 volts up to 220, and it should work with the device, right?
Exactly, and even with a small one, quite small, it's just 1,000 watts, is suitable already to run this device here. You just you strap it to the sidewall of the LCV, and you even leave it there in this position and start to work with it.
That's okay. So that's a good deal to use the scale lock in the back while you drive, and as soon as you arrive somewhere on the external place to make the service on the unit over there, unlock it, and even if the vehicle is not balanced straight with this scale construction, it should work properly.
Exactly. Another benefit is we have extensions in the program. We offer extensions of 3 meters each, to 6 and 9 meters, to even serve the roof mounted systems or the high vehicles. Exactly. The combined harvesters also have in a very high position. Yep. And this makes any repair possible. Also, if you want to have some more comfort in the workshop, you lift the truck, but you still want to work with a roof mounted system, you just add another 3 meters and you can do anything.
The limit was to add 2 pieces to reach a distance of maximum of 9 meters,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay, well, that should be quite long enough.
I think this should be serve any purpose.
Yeah. But yeah. I think if you go with longer pipes, in that case, you will lose accuracy about the pre-fillment.
Not only this, you lose filling accuracy, and you lose the ability to pre-fill via the device. We have a 9 meter at maximum. This is something we can grant that we are still within the range. If we override that, of course you can do, but then this is more or less engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a good idea on the liquids we are using here.
Not really, not really, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, then of course this is the basic version, including almost anything. We can serve even electrical driven and hybrid cars, because we have the ability to flush the systems internally. This is the precondition for serving electrically driven compressors.
So that's the precondition if you need to change the oil.
Yes, exactly.
So then you are in the ability to serve also electric driven compressors, as well as you are able to change to the standard ones. So talking about POG oil and POE oil. Cool.
Yeah, and okay, in this case here with the 10 series, we have to exchange the bottle at every time we want to change the system, and then we have to start this flushing manually. Here with the A50, we have a better comfort situation. We have both kinds of oil already present here at the machine, and we just select from the database. So, but now the question might be how get we get this unit clean? Yeah, we have added here an automated flushing cycle, which starts after every service job conducted with this machine, and this is exactly filling the time gap when you remove the old vehicle and get a new vehicle in. So when you start,
have no time loss while you're working.
Exactly, and this is a very good argument. Yep. And you have a complete pure machine without any residues of any kind, not in the service hoses, not in the manifold, not anywhere. This is really a benefit, and this is the main difference to the old generation of AC service units.
So that means in between the high pressure and the low pressure, internally we have like a U-turn as a hose, so we can flush the machine itself through the whole system.
Exactly.
It's a nice construction.
And it works even if you have some inspector cylinder in between. Even this one is being cleared.
I think about the inspector cylinder. I saw it already. We will talk a little bit later on because that's a nice, well, not a feature, a nice
item, yeah.
Tool, especially for the workshops to generate some income from the customers. Not every AC service is a standard AC service.
Exactly.
We will talk about a little bit later on it. What I see at the moment, I see here the button. I think the name is COOLIUS Select, and I see it on all of the devices, as
You're right.
well as I see the gauges from WABCOWÜRTH. So that's everything which is all through all the devices. So it should be very simple to use the devices, even if you change the models in between over time.
Exactly, and the core, yeah, the core job was when we developed these devices to be close to the user. We did not like to be fancy and colorful. We wanted it to keep simple as possible, and this is the reason. Of course, the analog gauges, you can say, yeah, there is a lot of fancy electronic gauges available in the meantime, but I personally prefer the analog gauge because it gives me, without any time difference, it gives me the real-time pressure, the pressure characteristics, like shaking pressure behavior, vibrating pressure behavior, which I need to diagnose the system.
I'm with you, absolutely.
And
I prefer these type of gauges as well. Well, it's fancy to see a colorful LED design on a TFT, whatever. But one thing is fanciness, and one thing is useful for my daily work. And
yeah,
with these gauges, I'm sure they are usefuler than the ones which look fancy.
yeah, because we have a pressure sensor which is serving an AD converter, and the pressure sensor is going through a so-called sampling rate, which is of course absorbing some kind of information I might be having, I might be need for my diagnosis.
And maybe cutting some peaks which
exactly.
you will see on the gauge here.
It's clearing my line, and I'm missing information about that.
Right.
Yeah, and then of course the control. You're right, it's all the same over all these machines. So what has been the purpose? Keep it simple. We all wear gloves at work. We all wear gloves at work, and we need to keep on these gloves. If we make it uncomfortable or we have a touch screen, what's happening? The mechanic removes the glove and never takes it on again.
Well, or he needs specific gloves to be able to use the touch screen.
Yeah. But whoever has worked in this environment knows this will never work.
It's not funny.
So we decided to keep it simple like that way. This is the standby mode. What's important, I want to know my reserve. That's my reserve for today, 5.5 kilograms. And then I want to start working. So, and for the working environment, we only have one manual containing all kinds of modes we need for the daily job. The vessel charge mode, for instance, is also giving some benefit, because we can pre-select the amount of refrigerant to load into the machine, and the machine will warn me when this amount is reached. Yeah, then we have the open program mode, and this open program mode makes available all kinds of steps in a single way. And this is important for all kinds of repairs. If I have to disassemble a system, I need to recover and vacuum. Then if I have done the repair, I need to vacuum and charge it again. So every purpose of repair situation is done. You even can configure a full automatic mode and set all the parameters manually if you prefer to do so. in some cases, this might make sense.
That could be interesting in cases if the vehicle is not covered by the database, for example.
Yes.
What I like here, okay, everybody is talking about full automatic mode. That's a nice topic if you have a standard car, if you have a standard truck. But as soon as you are working on buses, I think that's not a very common way as far as I have the knowledge. In that case, you will never work with an automatic mode as you have to do step by step also replacements of filters during your work on it. So it could make, well, it makes sense to have a single step mode. So on the first step, you evacuate the system to make it empty. Afterwards, you replace the filter, and then you start to make the vacuum, clean up from humidity. And afterwards, well, we are talking about different time slots. On a car, it's very common to make just 15 minutes vacuum.
No,
Something
20,
like
20.
Okay, 20.
Don't tell the people this.
Okay, the rule normally is more or less per kilo to make 1 hour of vacuum. So if you're talking on a bus, we are talking about 10 to 15 kilos. So that means 10 to 15 hours vacuum. I'm almost sure almost no one will do this long time of vacuum. Just in case of servicing, I think there 2 or 3 hours should be sufficient if there was still enough refrigerant remaining in the system. If you have an empty system, that means there was a damage before. So if the coolant could go out, also humidity, air, could come in, and that have to be sucked out. In that cases, it could be a good idea to start in the evening. The last vehicle is the damaged one. You put it on the vacuum mode and let him run overnight.
That's what I've been told at the local Mercedes dealer. They told me that they operate it like that.
Okay, that's the right way how to do it.
And in the morning, then they stop this process and fill the system.
They can fill it up, and it's okay.
Exactly.
Right, okay, make the vacuum test. If it's properly repaired, then they can fill it up. Okay. But about the vacuum test, I know there is a different possibility as well possible. Vacuum is in the topic of low pressure, but a leakage could be also in the pressure side.
Yeah.
So,
and the operating mode is always on the high pressure.
Right. So our A50 device, I think, has a pretty nice feature.
Yes.
Which covers that point.
It's my absolute favorite. This is this nitrogen bottle on the back side. So the bottle itself is nothing special. Others did this as well before. But what's so special with this is that we implemented this pressure test, this pressure loss test to be precise, into the software. And in the software means we have hardware and software combined. So we start the process from the software with the COOLIUS Select, and we save the results, and we report the results, and we print them. So this is, for instance, such a print. On this print, you see the initial pressure, the end pressure, the duration of test, and the result, in this case, a path. So what's different? Everybody who did AC service before knows this well-known trolley with the bottle on it, the double gauge manifold, this classic one, and you connect it. Then you have to adjust the pressure. Then you wait the pressure to stabilize. Then you close the bottle, wait for 20 minutes, which in total takes you 40 if you are a well-trained technician, 40 minutes. If not so well-trained, it takes more than 1 hour. And here, as it is implemented in this cycle here, and we are already connected, it just takes an addition of 5 minutes, depending on the time you set to wait for this significance of the result.
But that's a crazy time saving.
Yes,
topic, right?
Exactly. We save more than 40 minutes at least with every job we do with this, and we can do this with every regular maintenance without any effort.
But as you generate a printout, that's the printout about the pressure check.
Yeah.
We also generate a printout after the service, how many liquid was filled, how many was took out, every single step. But the documentation, that's a way I like very much, because nowadays it's more worth to have a proper documentation
Yes.
as the opposite to have a good work.
Exactly.
It's somehow crazy, but that's what the law is giving us.
Yeah, not only the law, with the increasing level of technology, the expectations of customers is increasing as well.
Yeah.
They expect a proper job. They expect not only proper, they expect a perfect job. And if anything breaks down after I did my job, they will claim for it. Yeah.
Right, and now that's
And
the way how you can go against the claim and
exactly,
save your own pocket.
you
Save your
defend
money.
without harassing anybody. This is the nice thing with it. Yeah, and of course we save it in the machine, and you can call a report at any time you like by just connecting a standard USB drive, and you receive a list as yeah.
That's the wrong one for the report, please.
Yeah,
Right.
a list like this, you see time, date. You just need to put in the tag number of the vehicle or the vehicle identification number, and then you receive information about how many oil received, how many refrigerant received, how many oil filled, refrigerant filled, and about any test performed, like the nitrogen pressure loss test, about the initial pressure, and so on. Even the vacuum test is being documented here, and how much you filled at the end. Yeah. And so you have a closed track record of every job you performed, even if the list is very long, and you can retrieve this list at any time you like.
And that's a cool way how you can keep your paperwork updated at the end of the year. If the depending place of the government comes to make an inspection to your data, and then you can bring out these lists, print it out from the machine. So it's
Yeah,
manipulate the data
exactly.
somehow.
And they do not fix an appointment. They just appear and say, I want to have it now. And you can
Right.
do it now
Exactly.
at any time and present it to them. Yeah. What else to say? We have a special feature in here, I remember, because a big system is not only just a big system, it also requires some change behavior in between, as we have here as the core difference between all the other series. We have the liquid filling pump, just to be mentioned, because this liquid filling pump avoids any pressure differences. I know that in the bus, for instance, the peak pressure could be up to 28 bars easily yeah, and to avoid any hassle, any time loss, you just activate this pump and it fills in a normal, fashionable, yeah, appropriate time the system.
Well, the topic is normally without the liquid filling pump, it's a physics thing. What happens there? It's just a balancing about the pressures from the machine. It will press inside of the vacuum of the vehicle, but often the quantity of the vacuum is not high enough to suck in all the liquid which is needed when we are talking about 10-15 kilos. So that's a lot of fuel that have to go in there, a lot of liquid to go in there. So these liquid pump will help. But I got a hint which we forgot when we talk about the USB connector. So we have the USB socket placed on all machines. On the A30, A50, A10, on the Y series machines as well. We have seen that we can take out data for reference, for some other topics which we use, but the stick should be used also for some input.
Yeah, we can update the software at any time we like. Just at turning on the machine, just look at the display, you will be shown the number of version to be found on the machine, and then you can compare this version with the version available online. in your personal account you create by activating the machine.
Well, that's a specific activation process which you will get introduced when you get the teach-in on the machine after you have bought it. So then you will register yourself at accoolius.com, and the colleague from Backstage opened already the tab with software app updates and showed you where to verify the number. Let us start with the first topic, the manuals. Here you got the manual for your machine in many, many languages. So if you lose your manual, which you got when you bought it, that's very common in a workshop. I know it from myself. Just download it. You got it on your diagnostic system maybe, and can read the PDF file there.
Or what if you feel more comfortable with a foreign language? Then you select the foreign language for it.
Exactly. What is the next one? The next one is instructions. So there you can find also informations. The software update we have seen already. The next one, CE declarations. I think that's not very useful for the end customer. That's more, declarations. The unit history. So here we see the activation key, which you got for get the machine running. In there, you will also be able to create the service key. So each machine needs a service from time to time on which we deliver the factory service. As we are good friends with the manufacturer, it's coming from a daughter company. So it's everything built by our own, more or less. Even our service is by our own. And which service is better than the OE service? I think none.
This is really a closed situation. You have support online. You find every kind of information. You can approach service or your local representative in case of any question over the entire lifetime of this machine. And this is something only, I think we are amongst a rare number of companies who can offer this kind of service.
I remember on other sessions there was a question about the database built in the machines. You don't need to open it, thank you. Maybe you have seen it. There was also a tab with a database, but this tab is empty. Why it's empty? Actually, the database is linked together with the software update. So if you do a software update, also the vehicle database will be updated. So that's a win-win for you. The software update to make the machine working properly. You get inventions which we implement there. Also, you receive the newest database of the vehicles.
Yeah, and of course, with this database, you also have the possibility to add own vehicles. Maybe if a vehicle, a historic vehicle, has undergone a retrofit, or any other kind of vehicle which has not had as a standard accessory an AC system fitted. This database only contains vehicles which were serially delivered together with an AC system fitted in. And you can add this or modify this database at any time.
Okay. So from our side, I would say thank you that you've been here, and goodbye.
Thank you for your time. Goodbye.